Hey guys, I hope you liked that intro. If so, hit that like and sub button, show me some support, and I'm Claak, and let's get into this video. And now we're going to talk about a mindset that you need to have as a healer. Now, there's only two mindsets that I know of when you're playing as a healer. One, there's being a super aggressive healer, meaning you go in and CC and play up in their face like you're a DPS. And then there's defensive, where you heal up your team and you react to opposing team's position. And I'm going to go a little bit more into that. Basically, when you have aggressive mindset as a healer, you're playing normally with a high burst team, normally within the first few CCs onto the opposing team's healer. So a lot of times like Jungle can get a kill really close off the bat. Turbo is another good one. Or even Cupid, Beastcleave, there's plenty. Any comp that can global someone within the first CC or second CC, or any CC that you have in your rotation, is pretty much a kill within the first few seconds. And that's fine to have an aggressive mindset. Any other comp, it's not gonna work. So for me, I usually have a defensive mindset. So normally I like to play with spellcasters, but that's normally. But since this expansion has been really weird in the way that you don't really need a CC, as in to get kills, yeah, it will help get that kill a lot of times. I'm sure it will. But most of the time, the DPS should be able to get the kill on their own while you're able to play defensive in the back waiting for them. Again, let's talk about the burst comp Turbo, which is Enhanced Shaman, Warrior, Resher, Druid. At least in my case, it would be Resher, Druid. It could be any healer, really. But for instance, the Warrior's Fear and my Cyclone share DR, so it kind of makes my Cyclone almost useless, especially in the very start when my team's going to go all out. My Warrior's usually going to go in first to try to get a fear to get that kill. So me going for a DR Cyclone to push myself in a bad position is just not worth it. So I'm telling you guys, playing defensively is probably the best thing this entire expansion. Every time I see someone say that you need to get clones in order for a certain team to win or anything like that, is just plain wrong and silly. If any team ever tells you you need to get a clone in order for them to get a kill, if that's what the strat revolves around 100%, then you probably need to leave your team and find another team, because that team that you're playing with should have enough CC on their own. But that's if they're running the right comp. If you're running a real comp, and if you're not running something weird, they should be able to get a kill on their own. For instance, I read Hunter. I can't even tell you how much CC a Hunter even has now. They got Scattershot, they got Trap, they got a little Explosion, and they also have Kick. And what does the Ret have? The Ret has a Hodge, a 5-second stun. So if you put all that CC chain together, your CC does not really need to be in there. Yeah, it's going to help if you do, but why would you put yourself in a bad position to be swapped on? Especially as a Rush Druid, we are very easily killed unless in bear form. But that's if you're in bear form. It's so risky to go for a kill when the opposing team can just swap you, especially if you don't have Trinket up. It's going to be very hard for your team to peel for you, because why? They already used all their CC on the healer. So going in for a CC as a Resher Druid right now is just not worth it. Playing back, reacting to the enemy's team is way better. So for instance, if a Hunter is coming to CC you and you can clearly see it, a lot of times a Hunter will sit on top of you. If he does that, then yeah, you can CC him. But what I like to do is I like to sit behind pillar, wait for him to get on the very edge of that pillar so I can bash him. And a lot of times it will either get him to trinket. If he doesn't trinket, I'm going to Cyclone. If he doesn't trinket that, then he's going to sit a full Cyclone, and then you can use that time to get away and try to reset. So playing defensive as a healer is probably the best thing. That's all I'm trying to say. Now, how should you use your cooldowns as a healer? It's pretty simple, honestly. Anytime you see the opposing team popping CDs, go ahead and pop your cooldowns, your defensive cooldown. So for instance, as a Resher Druid, I have Iron Bark. I'm going to pop that onto my teammate that they're going. And sometimes you might have to pop a little bit more, like your legendary weapon, which increases your healing. That's okay. Use what you feel like you need to do. Then if you get in CC, hopefully your teammate would be able to pop his defensive CDs. Then once you're out of CC and his defensives are down, guess what? Your defensives are going to be up maybe in 10 and 20 seconds, meaning you should have another defensive for the next rotation of CC. One thing I see that's a huge problem that a lot of people try to do is they try to hold their cooldown just because it looks safe for the moment. So for instance, if your buddy's dying and you don't want to use Iron Bark and you're holding it because you think he can live without you popping it, you're making a huge mistake. Because what if you do get CC'd? What if you get CC'd when he's at 50%? There's no way he's going to be able to survive. Even if he does have his defensives, it's going to be very scary. So what I always try to do is I always try to pop defensives no matter what. No matter if I think he's okay and whether he's going to live, I just pop my defensives on my target. So he can't get low. So we're not popping more cooldowns in the long run. And so I'm not getting behind on heals when you could be spending that time maybe getting a clone off. A lot of times, again, for them to get any CC off, they're going to come towards you, and that's when defensive mind play comes in, when you can bash that target who's trying to CC you, and then you take control of that person trying to CC you. So again, defensive is offensive in a way. I don't like being totally offensive when I use my blinks to get a bash. A lot of times that's very scary for a druid, because if you do that, you have no getaways, none whatsoever, to get away from the enemy team. You kind of hope they don't go you, or hope that your team has enough pressure that they won't go you. So it's very scary. So as a rusher dude, always play as defensive as you can. React to what they're doing. Alright guys, well I just wanted to make this quick video, basically just telling you, play defensive as you can as a rusher druid. Unless your team specifically tells you to go in and get a bash. If you don't get a bash, you don't get a kill. But again, those can be very risky situations because you are putting yourself in a danger zone. But if you do get a kill, it is worth, but just think, if you don't get that kill, most likely they're going to swap you, and they really are. And if you don't have Trinket, or even Bark Skin at least, you're dead. You're absolutely dead. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if so, hit that like and sub button, and as always, get out there and pwn some noobs.